Hey guys, my name's Gloria and welcome back to my channel. It has been a little while since I have recorded a video. I've just been busy with some life things, got a little bit of a very minor illness, had someone staying here, just had an entire weekend of my friend's wedding that I'm still recovering from, but it was very much fun. And I have still been reading as always, but I just haven't been able to sit down and film in a while, so I thought I would get back into the swing of things by doing a little tag video. I originally saw this tag on Mindy's book journey, so I will leave her video link down below and you should definitely check out her video and also her channel if you haven't already. I think she said in the video that it's originally written by the Naughty Librarian, so you can check her channel out as well. And it is the very out of time spring tag, because spring has sprung tag and it is well into summer here now in Ireland. It's June, but I already did all the answers up, you know. What are you gonna do? It's unreasonably warm here, and as an Irish person and as a person who is almost as white as her t-shirt right now, I don't do well in heat, so not a lot of brain cells knocking around at the minute. So I'm gonna do this tag that I've already answered, and it was fun to answer the questions. So all the questions will be listed down below in the description as well. But the first one is flowers. All the flowers we remember are blooming again. Pick a book that's a fresh take on a retelling. This one was a little bit hard to answer because I don't think I've read a lot of retellings that I'm aware of, but the one that I did pick was The Hollow Tree by James Brogden. Now this isn't strictly a retelling, but it is very much based on a real case of a real body that was found inside the trunk of a tree, and it's a great book. I really love James Brogden's writing, but he also takes there were different sort of theories as to who this body was, who Bella in the Witch Elm was, and it was she a Nazi spy? Was she a poor prostitute who was unfortunately murdered? You know, all these different things, and he kind of manages to meld them all together and use them all and to bring this story to life. And I just thought it was a really interesting way of doing it, and rather than just straight up telling or retelling the story of what happened. So that one's really good. I would definitely recommend that. So the next question is Cadbury Mini Eggs, obviously superior springtime candy. Pick a book that you consider a sweet treat. I'm not a Cadbury Mini Egg. Well, no, I would be kind of partial to Cadbury Mini Egg. This one, I've already forgotten the author's name, but I do want to talk about this in another video because I enjoyed it so much. It's called The Little Girl That Lives Down the Lane, and I originally saw this come up on my Netflix suggestions as a movie because Jodie Foster, when she was I think 12 or 14, starred in the movie of this. But I loved the movie so much, and it came up that it was based on a novel, so I obviously had to read the novel, and it is fantastic. I absolutely loved it. Great movie, great book. It was originally a play as well, so if that ever comes up to be in Dublin or anything, I'll definitely be going to see it. I will be talking about that in my vintage video, which will be coming up in the next week or so, but that one is definite 5 stars from me. Number 3 is Allergies, something I thankfully do not have. Seasonal allergies often make your eyes water. Pick a book that made you cry. So I don't cry at books, and I never used to cry at movies, but I do cry now. But the only book I remember actually crying at was one of his Dark Materials books, The Golden Compass. So I must have been 14 or 15, I think, maybe a little bit older. And it, spoiler alert for anyone else that has not read them, whenever Lyra, and I think his name was Will? I feel like it was Will, when they realize that they are in love with each other but they can literally never see each other again. That broke my heart. I did not want that to be the ending for them. I wanted the cheesy, perfect, happy ending, but that was not what I got, but it was good for the story, so I think I definitely teared up a bit for that one. The next question is spring cleaning. Out with the old and in with the new. Pick a book to unhaul. Oh, I didn't actually answer this one, but I just gave away a few books. I think I mentioned this before. So I gave away The Outsider by Stephen King because I just really didn't like it. I really didn't get what other people saw in it. I think it was one of his weaker ones. A bit too formulaic and a bit just like kind of lame at the end. I also gave away The Loop, not that it was a bad story or anything, it was actually quite enjoyable. I'm just probably not going to read it again. I also gave away Mexican Gothic. Again, not a bad story, I just probably wouldn't read it again. Can't remember the other ones that I gave away, but I think 3 is good enough. I probably do have a lot more that I should give away though. Number 5 is Spring Break. It's a perfect time for an adventure. Pick a book involving a road trip. So I had 2 for this. I went through some of the books I've read in the last year, I think. I haven't actually read a lot with road trips in them, but 2 that I have read are Rarity from the Hollow and Nocturnal Salvation. 2 very different books. Rarity from the Hollow is an entirely unique book. I have a video that I did on it, I think. Aliens, sort of funny and wholesome, but dark stuff, and very, it's an odd book, but it was really entertaining to read, and there are quite a few road trips in that to on an alien spaceship as well. And Nocturnal Salvation is the 3rd in the vampire series, and in the 2nd one they travelled to Amsterdam, and in this one they're travelling back to their origins in America, but to Atlanta, I think it is, to try and find a cure for this virus that's going on. So those have some road trips in them. The next one is mating season. Alright, it's that time of year in the animal kingdom to make some babies. Pick a book with some smutty delights. I personally don't find smutty things delightful. I don't know what it is when someone is describing things like that in text. It's always either really gross or like really clinical and sterilized and just not good. So I tend to either just not pick up books that I know are going to have a lot of smut in them, or sort of skip over bits where like, oh, people are having sex, okay, I'll go to the next page. I don't need all the finer details of that. But one that I did have one that didn't delve too deep into there's so many things I shouldn't say here, that didn't go too far into the details or anything, but it worked for the romance in the story, and it's Plague Birds by Jason Sanford. This is one I'll be talking about soon as well. It's a YA story set in the far distant future after there's been a whole host of wars, and humanity has risen up and defeated the AIs and stuff, and the main character is this young girl who becomes a plague bird, who is someone who has an AI inserted into their blood, so they're basically sharing their body with this other entity, and they go around sort of being the judge, jury and literal executioners, and going from human settlement to settlement, and executing people who have committed crimes, but in this she goes on a journey of self-discovery and meets this young monk, and there's some something built in that, but they were good. I liked the characters and I liked the couple as well, so that one was good. The next one is Rainbow, which is perfect for Pride Month. Oh, I do have a rainbow, but it fell down. But it should be there. This one says, I just feel like spring is made of freaking rainbows. Pick a book featuring queer characters. For this one I chose the short story collection Howls from the Dark Ages. It's got Hailey Piper, it's got some fantastic other writers in it. Despite being set in the Middle Ages and in medieval times, there were quite a few stories that had really strong queer relationships, queer characters and queer romance in them. Some of them were heartbreaking, some of them were not so much, but there was great representation of queer people in that book, so I thoroughly enjoyed that. Number 8 is Spring Awakening. This is one of my all-time favourite musicals. I didn't know that was a musical. Even though it's filled with completely dysfunctional characters, pick a book that's also filled with completely dysfunctional characters. Yeah, I think I've mentioned this one before. I think sometime last year I read a novella called Chat Room with a View by Glenn Maynard, and that is just, every character is bonkers in that book. Every character has their own weird agenda and their own warped view of reality, and it just causes the most bizarre set of events and decisions to be made. Definitely dysfunctional in that one. Number 9 is In Like a Lion, Out Like a Lamb. Pick a book series that didn't get better as it progressed. I don't have a lot of series. I haven't read a lot of series since I was reading fantasy. Are there horror series out there? I feel like I couldn't name a horror series, which is weird. There should be more of those. But one that I read last year because the movie was coming out was Dune, and there's actually, I think, at least 6 books, maybe a little more. I had originally planned on reading them all before the movie came out, but I only got 3 read, and then I was just kind of done. They did the movie a lot better than the original Dune movie, I think, but the books are just, they give the main character very very quickly, he becomes like this non-human, emotionless, very flat character. He kind of just knows everything. They're so smart, he can literally see into the future, so he knows everything's gonna happen, so he's just doesn't care about anything anymore. There's also a lot of just jumping around in time, and the first book was fine, but then in later books, as it goes on and it goes through different characters and different times on the Dune planet and stuff, it just gets a bit just weirder and weirder, and it just wasn't for me. It was just, yeah, I need more connection to the characters, I think. So that one, yeah, I stopped at the 3rd book. I'm probably not going to read the rest of them. The last number is Fun in the Sun. It's to tag someone, and just like Mindy didn't do, I'm not going to tag anyone either. If you're watching this and you feel like doing it, or if you even just want to let me know down below if you have any good answers to the questions I just asked, please let me know. I'm always looking for more book recommendations, and if you know some series that you think are good, please let me know, because yeah, I can't really think of any horror series. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, especially when I have these weird bouts of not filming, but I am planning a lot more videos in the next few weeks, and some fun in the future as well. So thank you so much. I shall see you in the next video.